back to the Charon so that we can do our main science while we're here. Now then, we have a little bit of a lighter load, and thankfully that means that we should have a little bit of an easier time getting back up here. In case I already have... Oh wait, no, before I do it, I need to actually gather the science that we got while we were just floating above the area. So I'm going to quick save, and Bill is going to be our main man today. Here we go. First things first, let's take the data. Let's do an EVA report while we're up here. Store the experiments, take the data. Let's see what else we can do here. I'm going to let go, turn on our RCS thrusters, and climb down. Now then, I'm going to gather one of our goo experiments. I'm going to gather one of our goo experiments right now, and then when we get back inside, I'm going to press 2 again, and that will get the other goo experiment that we have in here, plus the Science Junior. We could collect this data right now, but I'd rather get it from where we are right now on the actual surface itself. So let's go a little bit further down. Oop. Oop. Actually, if we can, let's grab that. Deploy the ladder. There we go. That's a little bit more comfortable, don't you think? Let's climb down. Take that. Take that. There's no science right there because seismometer and barometers don't work when you're floating just above the moon's surface. And the barometer doesn't work here at all, actually. There we go. Now then, Bill, you are the only Kerbal to have ever been on the surface of the moon. Which is kind of cool, actually. Good for you. I'm going to get a little bit of a safe distance away from this lander right here, just because when we launch I don't want to blow away our flag. That actually happened on the original Apollo mission, or the Apollo 11 mission, actually. They, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong planted a flag on the moon, and it was all, you know, ceremonious. Everyone remembers that scene, or has heard of that scene. But they put it too close to their rocket, so that when they left the moon, they accidentally knocked down the flag. So, you know, a little footnote of history that people don't often talk about. Let's see, name site. We're going to call this... you know what? In honor of you, Bill, we're going to call this Bill's Hillside. Bill's summer home. Bill comes here so often it may as well be his next house. Okay, Bill. And I believe that finished another one of our missions. There we go. Brought up our money and science up even more. So wonderful. We're getting pretty good at this. Oh, there's my little alien flag. Yay. Let's get back to the mission right up there. Actually, yes, we do need to get back up there. I'm going to store all of our science, and then we're going to do another science collection while we're here, and then have Bill do his second rounds. I'm going to take the data. Let's... Oh! Oh no! Oh no! We don't want that to happen, so let's go back to our earlier save. Oh, gosh darn it, we didn't put the flag down or anything. Hold on, I'll meet you guys back when we collect all the science again, so bear with me. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I've collected all the science I can gather from while we're over here, which is to say I've gathered all the science from our landing and just above landing the area. Right, what you see before you is everything that we have left as far as the Charon goes. We have the big lander experiment over to our left. We have the flag that we planted here to commemorate our location. And way off about 6 kilometers from where we are now is the escape system. The one that we successfully, well, partially successfully landed way off over in the crater. And although we have to leave this place forever, the escape system will be permanently resided here at Bill's summer home. But it is time for us to leave, because we have some important missions to take care of, namely to places like Eve. But first we have to get back to Kerbin, way the heck up there. Now, all that you see before you is not actually going to make the return trip. In fact, only some of it is. Can you guess which parts? Or rather, I probably already spoiled this for you much earlier. First, let's just get back on board the plane. Just get on the plane, why don't you? Let's try to do it without smashing any important equipment on the way over. There we go. Let us store our experiments, take them all back, because that's what we do, get back on board, and now we have 12 science experiments to take home with us. There we go, that's relatively eastward. Yes, it is eastward. We are doing wonderfully so far. Now then, we want this to raise up to at least... we want it to raise it up to at least 10 kilometers up. Looks like we'll be passing by our escape system as we leave, which apparently also launched eastward as we ascended. So, let's say goodbye to our friend who we decide to leave behind on the planet, or the moon. There it is, you can see it very barely off in the distance. Farewell, friend. There we go. Now we're safe. Now there's no risk of us crashing or getting destroyed with this. So we can be careful from here on out and get to the orbits that we need to get to. Let's first consider the fact that we want to get back to Kerbin. Not all of us needs to get there, but the grand majority of this mission does. To begin with, you'll notice that we still have some science that we can conduct, namely a gravity experiment. In fact, if I actually click it, it'll give us the 2 gravity options right now. High over the moon, it says. And if we're gonna leave to go home, we may as well grab as much science as we can on the way out the door, right? So first of all, I want to make sure that Bill's gonna be safe here, so I'm just going to turn this vessel so that it faces upward relative to what I'm seeing, because I think that makes it a little bit safer. I'm not 100% certain, though. Oh, we left our lander deployed. I mean, rather, we left our ladder deployed. Well, that's okay, as long as we as long as we remember to bring it back up before... Actually, you know what, let me just... No, we're going to need it to gather that, that gravity data. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, alright. We're good. We're still safe. As long as we... I don't doubt the fact that we can get back to the craft, I just don't want to smack into the solar panels again. There we go. Okay, now we're in much safer hands. Now all I have to do is grab the ladder. Haha! Grab some data. Okay, now we just need to get back on board the craft, and we are good to go. So, here is where the Charon starts to... The pieces of the Charon, the main mission, start to go their separate ways. We have 3 parts here that are all going to go in 3 separate directions. We have, with us right now, an orbiter, or rather a moon orbiter, a lander that will return all the way back down to the surface, and bring one of our astronauts home, namely Bill. And we have the Charon itself, the big project, the part that's going to travel everywhere else in the solar system. Now then, these parts that have very different destinies must now separate. So the first thing we're going to do is focus on getting Bill home, because he needs to get home and share all this new fun information with the whole team. Granted, we could probably separate all the pieces now, actually. Hold on, let me select control from here, and let us travel on our own way. Bill and Noonie are going to separate, and they'll both be alone from one another, but the time has come for them to move on to bigger prospects. Say goodbye, Bill. For now, you travel on to the great beyond. There we go. Bill is now on his way home. Let's switch to Bill. And first of all, I'm just going to deploy our RCS just to give ourselves a little bit of a safe distance away from the Charon, so that we have no risk of accidentally bumping into it at any given point. So now Bill is on his own, and he should be able to safely return back to Kerbin. The rest of Charon, however, will never land again. It will stay in space the remainder of time, or at least unless we decide to do anything crazy. Bill needs to get home, though, and the quickest way to do that would be to determine where a good place to burn would be. For example, if we burn prograde right here... Oh, actually, this might be good enough. Almost. There we go. Now then, Bill can go home. I'm just going to cut to when we land, because you've already seen the entire procedure like this before. Let's just make sure he has a moment to say goodbye to Charon one final time. He might see Noonie again in the future. It's very possible. But for now, the two leave each other alone, and go on their very own destinies. Now then, as you approach the planet, I know that you do want to slow down a tad bit, because I think if you're going too fast in a time warp towards the planet, it won't catch you. It won't catch you and kill your time warp in time for you to avoid crashing into the planet. So just bear that in mind when you're trying to do a landing on a planet. So, place your bets, everyone. Are we going to land in the water or the desert? Ooh, maybe the desert. That might be kind of fun. I don't know if we've done a landing there before on camera. We're gonna miss it, I think. Oh no, that means we won't be able to plant a flag. Oh, that's sad. Well, may as well deploy that and get that out of the way. We brought our decoupler back with us, the one that that deployed the escape system that's still currently on the moon and should forever stay there. Okay, let's see. Where is the game gonna put us? Is it going to put us back? No, it's not going to put us back there. It's probably going to put us off the coast of that continent. Yeah, we're definitely going to land off the coast, because even though it looks like the lines say that we're going to land there, once we lose momentum in the atmosphere by, re-entry, this right here, once this occurs, we're going to lose that speed and end up in the water. You know what? I wonder what that looks like from inside. What I did was I clicked, oh wow, look at that. That's a little frightening. You can see the sun up there too. In case you're not sure what I did, I clicked the IVA button on the bottom right. You know how there's an EVA button? IVA lets you look inside the capsule itself. I realize I haven't really been doing that often, but it's kind of a fun vantage point to see things happen from. So maybe I'll start doing that from now on while we do important events. Okay, yeah, we're definitely in for a water landing. We're going to land just off the coast of this area, right in the midst of the pool of water here. Can we see the moon from where we are, I wonder? Doesn't look like it. I think the moon's on the opposite side of the planet. Or maybe just off the horizon, I'm not really sure. Okay, I think we're going slow enough so that we can deploy our parachutes now. There we go. So, Bill, this is your third trip from a moon. I'm counting 3 because he went to Minmus once. That was when I was doing that montage. So he's been to a moon 3 times. Twice to the same moon. That might be his last trip to that particular moon. I know a lot of people were suggesting that I build colonies on the moons, and I might. If I were to build moon colonies, I'd probably do some on Minmus, because it's a little bit easier to land heavy stuff there because of its lighter gravity. But, for now... Oh, there we go. For now, my focus is going to be, Eve. If anything, I'll probably set up a colony there first. Well, not on Eve. It'd have to be insane to put Kerbin colony on the surface of Eve, because I'd never be able to get them home. Look at that, 586 science. And with the science that we transmitted from the moon, we now have 979 science total. And a lot of our funds too come from this mission. Bill also gains a little bit of reputation as well. So, let's consider what we've got right now still. Actually, you know what, before anything else, let's do some research and development. I realize that not all of Charon has gotten back yet, but I think we can get a little bit of a head start. Now, there are two things that I have my eye on that I really want. The atomic rockets was one that I really wanted, because it's the most efficient engine that I'm aware of in the game. Basically, it burns fuel and gives you the most amount of thrust for, I think, the least amount of fuel used. I could have it wrong, but the point is that nuclear fuel, or nuclear thrusters, are pretty fun and handy to have. The other big goal I have is very heavy rocketry. You remember this one, this rocket that we launched earlier, and how that gave us a tremendous amount of boost from an accidental fraction of a second when I actually tried to launch the thing. I feel like using these two in conjunction should be enough power to get us to Eve. So I'm going to give ourselves very heavy rocketry and nuclear propulsion. Now then, that should be all the thrust capabilities that we need to get to Eve. But there's some more things that I want to get here too, and I realize that we don't quite have enough science for them. I was eyeing, actually, some new probe parts here. I would love to have some new probe pieces to give ourselves more options as far as what we can do. And there's another type of fuel launch, launching a thruster system that we have here called electric propulsion, which is basically, instead of launching using liquid fuel, which is finite, we would launch using electrical power instead, which was a very, very small minor thrust, mind you. But if you're patient, then frankly it might be a cool thing to have. So I've got my eye on these, on unmanned tech, advanced unmanned tech, and ion propulsion. Those are my next three big goals. And there are many other things that we can grab while we're here, but again, baby steps, one step at a time. Let's see. And again, I'm just going to check mission control. Okay, so these guys are being picky because we just planted a flag on the moon, and I don't want to go there and do that again. There are some few missions that we can do right now, actually, such as science data around Midmas. But we're going to tackle all the rest later. Actually, before we get back to Charon, let's go grab that science data now. All we have to do is go back to the Midmas map set, and just grab any science. I think we can do that with our gravity scanner right here. Even if we produce no science from the transmission, it still counts towards the goal, actually. Believe it or not. There we go. Okay, so that was quick, easy, and generally it's a good idea. The more science, like orbiters you have, like probes like this, the more science you can get for free. So it's always fun to have these. Let's see. Do we have any other missions that we can do while we're up here? Science window, science data around Eve, subatomic rocket, Gilly. Nope, we're good. Let's go back to Charon.